think for me, there's kind of this tipping point for me at the moment where I feel, there's stuff I would gladly go and try and do and reskill. It's about, okay, if I do that and I invest all this time and money and, effort and commit, I really have to commit. And if it's something that I don't want to do, then, I don't want to have wasted time. So that's where this sort of period of reflection and research has come in for me.
Yeah.
The other thing too is that I guess my kids are still in a space where, they're at school and, I guess I've got perhaps a couple more years where then maybe I'm in a position where I can perhaps indulge some of these things that I want to try. But at the moment, because my mind's ticking and, it's like, oh, this could be good to try or that could be good to try. I also have to be realistic about, my earning capacity and still putting kids through private school and all that sort of stuff. So I feel like, I don't want to be selfish about, and the reality is we've still got bills to pay and, you can't just, you've got to take all that into account, which, I'm sure you've probably, thought about that too. It's just not a decision just about me and about what I want to do. There's everyone else to consider. So I keep getting drawn back to an environment where it requires empathy, where I'm helping people. That's where I'm always drawn to that. And when I've worked in non-for-profit, that's when I've been my happiest.
I remember saying that somewhere along the line.
Yeah, it's always about a bigger cause. It's always about how do I contribute to the bigger cause, and what I do actually impacts, helping others to do their job, to help those vulnerable in our community. And I think whatever I do, I'm always drawn back to those kinds of environments or roles. That's where I feel like I could best serve and where my heart lies and where my values lie. So, but at the same time, it's finding the right balance about, being able to earn the kind of money that I could earn versus what I really love to do. And right now, I'm still at a point where I perhaps can't freely just drop everything and go, I want to drop 20 grand and go, I want to try this, because the reality is we still need to, get through life and and make ends meet. And I'm not saying, you make things happen and you.
But if your kids are at an age, you can't pull them out of a private school. What are they, 11, 9,
well,
10?
I've got year 11 and year 9. So, it's being fair to that situation too. And God, I think about that too. Like, I don't want to wish that time away either, because, this is a great time for them too. But I've had, a couple of years to figure out that this is where I'm headed in terms of what's important and how I want to spend my time. I've never been interested in climbing the corporate ladder. I'm ambitious, but in a way that, again, will serve others. It's never been really to benefit me earning more or, being at the top of my game. I just want to know, I want to know enough and be masterful enough to do my job well, but also have, has to be fulfilling and purposeful. So that's kind of where, the conflict is, because I keep just spinning around in this space, and I need to, I think what this is doing, these conversations, is really just saying, okay, it might be in the next, 3 to 4 to 5 years, where once the kids, finish school, then perhaps I've got, a little bit more flexibility to be able to do what I need to. The other thing is, whilst they're at school, you want to be around, you want to be present. And I think at this age, I feel like they need you around, as teenagers, they need you around more, because there's a lot more popping up and more conversations to have to be had that you want to kind of
And in your
nip
current job, you have that flexibility to be available for them.
Well, that's what I need. That's what I've always wanted. And, this period of even working from home one day has made a huge difference because you can be around and you can have, the time to have those discussions. And sometimes when your kids come home and, something's going on and you can't quite get to the bottom of it until you're saying goodnight to them. It's not the right time to open up that can of worms. You really want to be having that talk after school, or, it seems to be on the way to sport in the car. Well, there's no sport at the moment. So, we've got time to have those conversations. And I feel like it's a really good, this has come as a blessing totally to me this time because, I've been able to just get my headspace back and I think, just be present because I feel like I'm just always thinking about, okay, what's the next thing? What do I got to do now? What do I got to do now? So,
I agree. I felt the same.
Yeah. So, but anyway, I was thinking about this. I've been sort of trying different creative projects as part of this because I've really, I've had a bit more time again to sort of tap into doing some of the stuff that I love that I've kind of not had time to do, painting, calligraphy, this kind of stuff, right? So, and, in this process too, and I was thinking about it sort of, I guess, how it might correlate to what you are doing and your journey as well, in that when we start something from the beginning, like a toddler, it feels like, I guess things are messy and things, in order to break through, you have to get comfortable with imperfection again. And, sometimes in that process, you kind of discover who you really are and your true grit. So, I'm really thrilled to be having this conversation with you because I know, I feel like your story I'm guessing the story that your journey you've been on so far is kind of at the core of what I'm, in the midst of now. So, I have so many questions. So that's why I was keen. But perhaps, you can give me a sense of what you're about to embark on right now in your next week.
Well, starting from next Monday, I am starting my training at the Victoria Police Academy to become a police officer. I'm ridiculously excited. It was a long process, as you know, nerve-wracking, such a roller coaster, but it feels so good to be here and I feel fulfilled and I haven't even begun. It's super exciting.
Oh, I know. I'm so thrilled for you because I know, in our discussions that, just getting to this point was probably huge, but what drew you to this kind of role and is it something you wanted to do or always knew you wanted to do?
So I don't know if you know my background. So I studied horticulture at school and then I travelled overseas. I was a park ranger. I worked outdoors. I was never going to be an office person. And then when I came back from overseas, I joined my family's business and I was admin based. And I have been doing it for 15 years. For me, the biggest appeal, two things. I felt like I was working for money and I needed to be doing more than that. Money's not irrelevant, but it's not really the meaning of life. And my kids are at an age that we could make some big financial decisions and we're not pulling the carpet from underneath them or anything. So part of it was that, but and making a difference to people. But the biggest thing for me was I want variety. I want to be stimulated each day, and I couldn't go and sit in an office day in, day out anymore. I was just on a treadmill going nowhere, and I feel like I'm off that, and I'm super excited.
And so, what specifically about the police force was it that made you decide that was what was going to be it?
So I had probably for the last 10 years, I had toyed with teaching or becoming a police officer. And I think my family, so I worked with my family, as you know, and both my dad and my brother would very readily dismiss police work because I guess the safety aspect in their mind.
Yeah.
And if anything, they were pro-teaching. But every time I really thought about me as a teacher, it just didn't quite sit right. It didn't click enough for me to pursue it. And then when I kind of really allowed myself to picture and really do research about what was involved in being a police officer and the opportunities within Victoria Police, it just lit the fire in me, and I had to pursue it. That's what I was saying to you. You just know.
I can tell you, I have goosebumps when you just said that it like lit you up. I actually got goosebumps up my arm and my legs.
It feels amazing.
You like say that, and I can feel your energy. Really. Yeah.
Teaching, just like I could see myself, and I feel like I have some of the qualities, but I feel like I've got everything it would take to be a great police officer, and it would give me everything that I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm excited.
Awesome. Oh, that's so good. So 10 years is a long time to be thinking about that. And I guess
so it wasn't constant. I would never say it was constant. Like I was raising my kids, and I had amazing flexibility in my family's business to be raising kids. So it was, in any business job, there's highs and lows. So obviously each time there was a low, the wheels would start turning, and I would think.
Yeah.
But like I knew that the timing was never right for big changes while my kids were young, and I really wanted to be present.
Yeah.
And my husband as well needed to be on board for me to do this, and he's in the position that he can be right now, and everything has just kind of fallen into place.
Yeah. And that's what I was going to ask. I guess there's once you kind of I'm sure I know with me, kind of once you get past the fear and the doubt and possibly the procrastination, and then a few more years go by, and then all of a sudden there are the realities like your family, the retraining, expectations, which we'll get to, and certainly the financial change that of all that. The time flies, and you just all of a sudden you go, shit, I'm midlife here, and I'm going, what's next? What does next look like? So, to have made that commitment and decision is amazing. So I can.
I did. I looked at it similar to that. So I've been in my family's business for 15 years. I'm 42 now. I don't know if you know how old I am. And what potentially I've got 20, 25 more years of working. And so for me, it felt like I can give something else, a really good chunk of my life for me to pursue another path and really get the most out of it as well. So yes, I'm on the older side, but I've still got so much of my working life as well.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Absolutely. So tell me, as much as you're able to elaborate, what the process has been for you to actually apply and get to starting on Monday.
So the initial, it's a crazy long process. So initially you fill out an online application. Then you sit an entrance exam. So for me, that was pretty massive. I have not done any study for 20 plus years. So to prepare for an exam was massive. But I enjoyed it because I was interested and I wanted to do well. So so that was fine. After that, there was a video interview. That was a strange and unique thing for me. After the video, what was next? Oh, in between that, you have to fill out a massive applicant pack. Like that was a process including medical, overseas, criminal records, anything like that. Then there was a psych and fitness test. So they were on the same day. So you sit the fitness test. And if you pass fitness, then you do a computer-based psych interview. Once they assess that, you then do a one-on-one psych interview with a psychologist. I think that's not a Victoria Police psychologist. It's an external person that does that interview. And then after that's the final panel interview. So there was just 2 people. So that was all through COVID. So that was a bit unique. It was via video, but face-to-face at the same time. And then once you've been accepted, you sit patiently and wait in a pool of candidates for an academy start date. So that was not such a long process for me. I think it really varies, but I heard back quite quickly. But all in all, the process was about 7 months.
Okay.
With lots of anxious waiting, as you know.
Yes. And I know that's, seeing you at, in training and stuff, having to physically prepare for that has been part of it too.
I enjoyed that. The physical side was, obviously it's good for mental health in general, but I love that the job involves that as well. Like, it's not just academic, the physical side's important, and that also excites me too.
That's awesome. Cool. What do you hope to gain from this career change in terms of, I guess, obviously there's change of pace, change of routine, change of everything?
I'm excited about, so many times I got asked how you feel about shift work. I know it sounds silly, but I'm excited about shift work because I've never done it, because I don't want to do 9 to 5 day in, day out anymore. I want variety, I want difference, I want challenge. So I'm excited about all of that. But on a personal level, I want to be making a difference. Like I said, I was working for money, and that's just not enough. I want to look back on my life and feel like it's had meaning, and I wasn't feeling that.
Yeah, so good. Is there anything that you are afraid of as it applies to approaching this and what's to come? Is there anything that, like, any doubt, any fear, I guess there's small anxiety maybe, but I don't know, is there anything you're afraid of?
I know it sounds silly, but I'm a little bit delusional, but I always look on the bright side, and I'm excited about everything, and I'm super positive generally, but I want the challenge, and I believe that I can do it all and make it work and not be absent from my family and be fulfilled, and I feel positive about it all. I guess, I've allowed myself 2 seconds to think that yes, there's probably more risk in being a police officer than sitting behind a desk, but I haven't let myself go too far down that path, because there's risk in everything.
Correct.
So it wasn't worth, if I was going to name a fear, I guess that would be it, but I haven't allowed myself to go there because it's not healthy and it's just not worth it.
Yeah.
So I'm not afraid. I'm just off my face excited.
Yeah, I know. It's so exciting. Do you know what your first sort of phase at the academy will look like? Like, what sort of time is spent doing that there?
So it's a 31-week training at the academy. Because of COVID, that's been reduced to 28. I don't really know the reasons behind that. I think it's going to be quite different in the current climate. But that's okay too. We'll roll with the punches. And then after that, you get placed at a station, and I think you get opportunities to experience lots of different areas. And if you choose to specialise from there, after I think it's 2.5 years, you kind of choose what path you want to go down. And there's so many different avenues to explore. In my head, I have some ideas about where I'd like to go, but I'm sure everything's going to excite me, and I want to get involved in everything. So I don't know where I'll end up, but I'm looking forward to see what really interests me.
Do you know how that allocation process happens? Like, could you be sent anywhere? Could you be sent regionally? Like, is it?
Yep. So I think the first 2.5 years will be Melbourne based, but I think it can be. I don't think initially, and after that 2.5 years, there is a ballot system that you could end up regional, which my husband was a little bit funny about. He's like, if the kids are established in school, but again, I'm like, what if it's something great? What if it's amazing?
Yeah.
We'll cross that bridge when the time comes.
Yeah. What do the kids think about it?
I think it's a little bit cool. It was really interesting. So once I had finished the process and had been accepted, my 10-year-old said to me, he said, would you rather do a job that made lots of money or something that you loved? And we hadn't had that conversation, but he'd obviously seen me go through the process. And I didn't hesitate. I said, hands down, something I love. And he's like,
it's pretty insightful for a 10-year-old to ask a question like that.
yeah, that's
isn't
what
it?
I
Yeah.
thought. But,
Yeah.
you know, they'd seen me go through all this. And, I mean, they knew that I was working in my family's business and, you know, was potentially going to take it over.
Yeah.
And that I'd chosen to walk away from that. So obviously he'd thought about that, what that meant. And he was quite excited that I kind of allowed him to just love what he wants to do, and that his path wasn't paved for him in any way. It was nice to see.
Yeah, that's all we want for our kids. And I think, yeah, we've, as I said, we've had some interesting conversations, you know, with my two, particularly around, you know, I guess subject selection and
Yep.
you know, the conversation always revolves around that. And I'm damn sure that I'll do everything to make sure that they do what they love and what they enjoy. You know, versus, you know, we've never put any expectation on them. And hopefully, you know, I guess these days that's, you know, there's so many different pathways that can help you bridge the gap if you're not quite there or you don't quite know. So, yeah, I think you just sometimes just got to put yourself out there and, you know, give it a go. And the amazing thing is, you know, I know I haven't known you that long, but I can totally see you as a police officer. And if before I'd met you and, you know, not known you, I could totally see you in the role.
Funny you say that, because people that have known me my whole life, and then people like you that I have known not so long, like everyone said it to me, which is lovely. But then I stop and think, I was like, would they say that regardless? Yeah. Because it's what is exciting me. But it's been really lovely to hear people say, because I mean, obviously it feels right to me. It's nice to see that other people can see me in that role too.
Yeah. And I'd love to, you know, once you're, you know, into it a little bit down the track, maybe revisit this conversation, because I'm sure you'll have stories to tell in terms of just how, you know, it's panning out, and you know, whether it's ticking all those boxes for you and stuff. But I applaud you, not only for having, you know, committed to getting to this point, but you know, in a field of work that I guess you've chosen, you know, to serve your community, and you know, that you're able to give back to. That, my friend, is, I think, the ultimate for me. So, you know, I wish you all the best, you know, particularly for your start next week. And I'm really keen to hear how things go. And you know, I'm sure we'll be on the journey with you anyway.
Yeah, so, no doubt. Hey, one thing that I want to say to you is, and I don't know, like you said, see if it's everything I hoped. I'm going to allow myself to make a mistake, and if halfway through, like, that's okay if it's not everything I hoped and dreamed. And I feel like what I'm sensing from you is that you don't want to make a mistake. You don't want it to be the wrong decision, but sometimes you don't know until you try.
I think that I'm becoming less, you know, I'm giving myself permission to do stuff that I would have once gone, you know what, if I don't just step out off the ledge, I'm never going to know. And I think, you know, we have a very, I guess even as a society, we have a very unusual relationship with fear and failure, and I'm learning that more and more. I think I'm sort of taking courage from doing this, because, you know, I think I'm so, you know, not risk averse, but, you know, I'm a sort of person who likes to have a plan. I like to, you know, if things go wrong, then great, I'll deal with the change, but I will do everything I can to, you know, to pad that situation so that nobody gets hurt, and I can protect. And I think that's just mother bear too a bit. But I think for my, you know, I'll do it for everybody else as well. And I think for myself, I need to give myself permission. I was actually thinking about something yesterday. I wrote it down. Sometimes we just need to get the hell out of our own way. And I think that pretty much sums up what's going on here. So,
and I think for you, like when you give yourself that permission, the feeling, and like you see me off my face with excitement, it gives you a buzz, just allowing yourself to do that.
Yeah. I just want to feel like I know I can, whatever I do that lights me on fire, whenever I actually find that I want to feel like, I can sense your feeling. I want to feel like that every day. I want to go to work, or I want to, whatever it is, do what I am meant to do, with cause and with purpose and with love, and, they say the biggest regret of the dying is that they didn't do what they wanted to, or try what they wanted to. And I just, I don't want to get to that point. I want to try stuff, and I want to, if it fails, then fine. But I think I'm just, I'm going through this process to give myself the okay that I need to do this. And
I'm looking forward to seeing how it pans out for you.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. And I think this is a very exciting time. So I really thank you for being part of this. And, as I said, I was really keen from the very beginning to talk to you, because, I know we'd sort of spoken offline. Obviously, you've been on this journey yourself, and to get to the point where you are, where you're now just like, ready to smash it. I'm really excited for you. So, yeah.
Thank you.
That's
Stay
really
tuned.
Cool. All right. Well, yes, stay tuned to either side. Cool. All right. Good to talk to you.
Take
Thanks,
care. See you
Sarah.
soon.
Bye.
Bye.